Okay, I'm here with one of the best trainers in the world, Walli Moses. And I preface that because this show's called Tell the Truth Sports Radio, and I tell the truth. Why are you not recognized as one of the best trainers? Everybody says, okay, Shakur is this, he's ranked one of the best fighters, he's this, and they always talk, but they never mention you.
Well, it depends on where you are, Believe it or not, I got bigger recognition, internationally than I do nationally.
Okay.
Even though, I accomplished a lot of things here as well. But the thing in boxing, it's not about the trainer, it's about the fighter. And, that's the thing that I love, I don't want nobody to know it's not about me or anything like that. But right now, all emphasis and everything is on Shakur. This is his time, And, I think, all the things that I've been accomplished lately or whatever, it'll start to, speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get out there and talk about me this and me that.
But I am. I'm going to talk about you like that on my show. So, I tell the truth. Okay, let's start with Shakur. When he came out of Newark, and there's a lot of great athletes that come out of Newark, but there's a lot of people that didn't make it because of their environment. How did you keep him grounded going from point A to this plateau he's at right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, as much as I love boxing, I haven't ever said this. I think I said it one time in life, I never really let Shakur know this is here for that his dream was really my dream. My dream for him, my son, somebody, from my offspring to go ahead and accomplish it. And just so it turned out to become his dream. And once it became his dream, that's what it was, everything was about him, not me. You know what I mean? So, I think that, kept me balanced, to concentrate on him and his development and not thinking about myself as well as all the other athletes we were working with at the time, you know what I mean? So, and it's a sport, you'll find out, when you are leaders or teachers or whatever, you want to be an inspiration, you know what I mean? It's not about you. And you want that, maybe that voice to the things that you do to encourage the city, the citizens, the community, particularly the athletes to come back and be a part of that rejuvenation of that thing that you struck into the community like Shakur has done with boxing here in New Jersey, since Shakur started boxing, with myself in the recreation department, Mr. Donnell Redden opened up a gym in Newark. Now, Newark is taking that gym's over now. Boxing is back in Newark again, you know what I'm saying? We tried to bring the Duke's AC facility back in Newark, in the clubhouse, which, happened to be, where my kids started out, which were the original combat kids, you know what I'm saying? So, I think right now everything is starting to come full circle, when you talk about me, nobody noticing me, not only do we notice, but the things that's happening in the community are the things that we need to notice. Maybe, we start to see those, maybe you might see me a little bit.
But you know what? This is why we're doing this interview. So this comes into light for what you're doing in the community too. And what he always represents Newark when he's in the ring.
Right.
Now, I felt like he won in the Olympics. They gave him the silver medal, but to me, he won.
Yeah. One thing, that was one of the biggest fights, when he and I were together, I had been there all through his amateur career, winning the world titles and everything else, I was a high performance trainer, contracted high performance trainer from 2012 to 2015, but really 2011. So, the experience that he and I got from that is really what spearheaded me and really gave me the encouragement to come back and bring that back home. That international experience as a coach, that winning and, going to the Olympic Training Center and learning the things that I learned. I think, that was what really gave me the idea to come back and, try to revive and start boxing again in the city of Newark. So
that's awesome. Now we're going to talk about the fighters. What did you think about the Haney Lomachenko fight? Because I had scored at a draw, but I'm going to lean to your expertise.
Well, it was a very close fight, you know. I think Lomachenko let off the pedal in the last round.
That's how the 12th round he lost. That's why I scored it a draw.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, well, it was a very competitive fight, you know. You might say that, you know, I favored Devin, because Devin was with me for 4 years, USA team, USA, so, and, you know, I was the only one that trained Devin on that team, you know. Other than that, so Devin, you know, I could be kind of biased, you know, I'm rooting for him. You know, I have a very close relationship with his father, and particularly, you know, his grandmother really treats Shakur and treated us exceptionally well. Bill's mother, so, you know, you could say I'm biased, you know, I'm
okay.
So, you know.
All right, we're gonna get to that fight. We're gonna get to that potential fight. I want to talk about Valdez when he fought. It seemed like Valdez kind of didn't want to fight him, but Shakur kind of shamed him into that fight. And I knew he tore Valdez up for that fight, and I knew Shakur was going to win. And everybody's saying Valdez was like the boogeyman because he had an upset knockout. So I don't know Shakur, but I knew Shakur's superior boxing. What was your game plan in that fight?
Well, we know he likes to, you know, keep his head out over his room and come straight in a lot of times. So we knew that would never work. And actually, for that fight, we were particularly working on our hand speed because we knew he tried to emulate fighters, but you know, I don't think you could ever have someone could actually map the hand speed and ring IQ that Shakur has. So we know he would fail there as well. So our thing was to capitalize on all those points, make him miss, make him pay. Don't let him get inside. Maybe don't let him come in with hit you with your head. So we done all that. Other than that, we knew we could outbox him.
Now, the Yoshimo fight, it seems like Shakur, he's one of the best boxers. I've been following and studying boxing since the 1900s, from Henry Armstrong to Jack Johnson, Sugar Ray Robinson. He's one of the best boxers. He hasn't had the resume yet, but as far as just pure boxing, I've ever seen Shakur. He fought his last fight. He added power. It's like there was a little more power usage to what he was doing he's transforming from a great boxer to a great boxer that could sting you now.
Well, you know, everybody say that, but it's more naturalization, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know, throughout his career, you find out Shakur every 2 years had moved up in weight. So that same thing when we at 130, at 2.5 years, we had to go up. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we weren't none of them guys that always that grew and had cut your weight to go down and all that kind of stuff. Because one thing I wanted to do was make sure that Shakur's body developed correctly. So now, in the process of him getting older, you see him getting stronger. And you see a lot of those guys like cutting weight for years are getting weaker. Like Devin was fighting 132 ever since he was, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a whole lot of period of time your muscles don't get to really grow like they should normally because you're constantly cutting weight year after year after year. So, you know, a lot of those things attribute to what is enhancing his performance now. And, you know, nobody never really, Shakur never realized how strong he was in the ring. Give you an example. When you see the ring ever since he started at 122, right? You never seen nobody push him around or throw him around. He pushed everybody else around the ring. Okay, let's look at the maturization. Okay, you go up another weight class. You see nobody pushing him around. Okay, I'll be one world champ. Okay, all right. I'll be one, but I'm pushing out. That was real easy. Okay, now we move up again, you know. Here we go. We pushing other guys around, backing them up, boom, boom, boom. So now you see that maturization as not only mentally coming in, whether the mental aspect is catching up to the physical aspect.
Yes.
Okay, that's been there all the time. Okay, all right. Because he's always grew up with the aspect of winning the fight, hitting, not getting hit. I'm gonna beat you on every scorecard. You know what I mean? I'm gonna beat you every round. I'm gonna beat you up every round. Now, getting with it, he wants to start to knock you out.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Every great fighter, from Mayweather to Leonard to Sugar Ray Robinson to Ali and your son, they all have their certain trait. You look at their eyes. Look at how they process. Look, when he fights, I can see he's processing it while he's fighting. And a lot of the great fighters do. Yeah.
Try that again. Don't make me pay. Yeah, it's that, and like, that's the one thing that I love about him, See, because a lot of things, like, like you talk about Gleason Gym. We went to Gleason Gym one time, right? And Shakur saw a kid, an older guy, bet on the bag. So Shakur thought the guy was crazy because the guy was rolling, pow, hitting the bag with the phone shoulder, pow, boom, boom. So Shakur was like, Papa, look at that guy crazy. He hitting the bag, he ain't even punching him. He hitting him with his shoulder. He hitting him with his shoulder. So back then, when we in Gleason's gym, I showed Shakur what that was. How the guy coming in, he's gonna come, pow, hit him, rolling, hit him with that, so he's gonna come with that head. So now as he got older into the pro stuff that he learned a long time ago, he learned how to use it. Everybody think he just here doing his head. But Shakur doing this, pushing that hand down here, boom, locking you up, boom, all this at once. Oh, you trying to throw that right hand, you knocking that shit over, all this shit from my head. You know what I'm saying? But
I know what you're saying.
all they just see is this here. They think you're doing this, but you knocking that hand down, knocking, holding that hand here. And now here, knocking this side up, knocking that side up.
It seemed like from round 3 on to when he either knocks out or wins, he's just like, I got you figured out. I got you now. So he can tell that he has got all the style, whatever you come in or where you're trying to run from, he got it figured out.
Right,
And you can hear the commentators, even Andre Ward will say that, and the commentators, Joe Tessitore, those guys are like, he got him now.
Right. I used to tell a tale about his concentration and discipline in the ring. One day, I was in the ring, and Shakur, this is when he was about 14, 15 years old. Man, everybody, all sides. He boxed like 24 rounds in a row.
Mm-hmm.
He thought I was because I was over there running like an 18-unit circuit. Boom, 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 boom. That's gonna go like almost like 18 rounds, So we over there. So I'm looking at him and doing this thing. So we got a camp, this last camp. So Shakur wanted to have fun here and all that. So, in pro, we do 4-minute rounds. So Shakur done 18 4-minute rounds. So when you break that down by 3, that's 24 rounds.
Whew.
So that proved my statement to everybody. They didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So when he said he done it, with ease and everybody ready to go, it's time. I gotta put the rein on. That's enough. That's enough. Because we all know recovery is the most important. But he works extra hard. I attribute that. Ever since he was a kid, one day he came to me and said, Papa, you ain't gotta take me run no more. I'm doing this by myself.
That's competitive greatness. That's competitive greatness. That's important.
Yeah. I'll do this by myself. And the biggest thing I understood about him, in terms of the competitiveness, he paid Pop on the football. I had a thing with, I never wanted to force him to do this here, to box, or do that, whatever it is, because you always want someone to love what they do, So he played football, he played basketball, allow him to be a kid. He played baseball. Baseball was a sport that he really excelled at. Never had an opportunity.
See, I want to interview Shakur whenever he comes out here. I want to talk to him about baseball.
You don't even remember that. So, that was from the T-ball league. That's when over at Immaculate, because I had bought him one pitching machine, pow, that was too slow. I had another pitching machine, pow, another one, pow. This boy, he was 6 years old, so that hand and eye coordination was always there. But like I said, he played Power 1 football, and they were having a great season. They were undefeated. Wow, he loved it. So now he looking at him, watching football pop up. Hey, I'm locked in. You go to the playoffs. They undefeated. All right, they're in the championship, right? So they playing the game. Apparently, they lose the championship. Shakur came home and said, Papa, I don't want to play football no more. I said, you don't want to play football? You had a great season. You don't want to play? Papa, I don't want to play because we lost. And, that play was on the other side of the field. And I couldn't be there. And I can't control it. So if it's a sport that I can't control the play,
there you go.
I don't want to play. If I can't control the outcome, I can want to.
See, he's in the right sport now. Yeah. Now, before we go, I want 2 fights. Devin Haney and Shakur. if that's possible. And then with the biggest.
Let me say this about a lot of fighters, right? You know, when, you know, like I have all respect for all coaches. You know, some coaches just, you know, are more effective than others. And, you know, some fighters are more effective than others. Like you take Shakur, Shakur went to the amateurs, right? All of us was in the amateurs at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So that winning, you know, is the criteria that advance you to winning where you can win the most and win everything. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these fighters, they lost. So now, rather than go through those Olympic trials, when you're gonna see these fighters that you have lost in the past, so and you don't want to see them no more. So now you want to take the easy route, go to Mexico, build up your record, and that whatever status that you had, and didn't take a chance at losing, coming out of the amateurs. Okay, you regain it by going up there, building this shit up in social media, beating a lot of bombs up in Mexico. And it had got so bad, if you look at it, right when that crop came out and started going to Mexico, right? Guess what? No more of that. We're doing 50-50 fights in Mexico and said no more. Because they seen what they were doing. Next is done. I got it.
How come nobody you see on TV after a fight in that weight class like, yo, I want Shakur Stevenson, I'll knock him out? How come nobody, you don't see nobody call him out ever?
Well, you know, it's the politics behind it. You know, it's that risk. The only ones that would do it are the ones that really want to be something or really want to take the chance of doing it. Those are the guys like Shakur. It's cool, want to smoke with that. You're not going to turn anybody. Let somebody say they want to fight him. You're not going to turn him.
Oh, I know he ain't.
Hey, it ain't about the money. He'll tell him come to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
You don't care.
Yeah, like one time, the kid, no, look, this is what I tell about. They were in the same area with B-Hop, right? They fought in the amateurs, right? This kid danced all around Shakur weight class. Fought everybody else, but never was fighting from the Shakur weight class. So, you know, Shakur was standing in Virginia at the time. So Shakur pull up on me. Pop out. What you doing here, man? He said, go on as a spar, man. Come on with me, right? So I get in the car with him, you know, we go over to Bergen County, and when I get there, we at Don and with Beyond. I say, oh man, we come as far as anyway, we get in the ring with him, you know, go home, Shakur start boxing, Shakur start touching him, foul. Started hitting him. He started running around the ring. Yo, I told him, come on, Shakur had to stop. Come on, man. Man, scored him a couple of leagues. Man, we had to get out there and leave. That's, you know, one time, you know, he had talked some smack to Shakur, and they boxed. This, you know, this was like, well, we had ringside or somewhere, and they boxed out there outside. Shakur beat him up then, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the same tournament that he had talked so much at ringside. He got in the first round. This young kid broke his nose, beat the hell out of him. And I had never heard nothing from B-Hop no more until next thing you know, he turned pro. And he got all his big name and all this. Man, he did. You know, it's not like B-Hop, it wasn't no surprise to the character he's displayed in his last fight because a lot of people know that's who he really was. I don't want to take anything, I like the kid, but I know him in his own life, you know.
Well, I want to talk about two mega fights before we go. Spence Crawford, who wins that?
Listen, I like both the brothers, but you know, I have an alliance with Terrence, so you know, that's my man. You know, if it came to anything, you know, I know one thing that Earl won't be able to walk in and think he can walk through Terrence like he do everybody else without getting hit and hit hard. And I know Terrence would rather you kill that ball. Like, you know, when I'll get you in a chokehold and you got him in a chokehold, you're gonna choke him out before he taps.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. All right. He ain't no quitting him. He gonna go out on the show. So that's standing there, yo, on that aspect, that phone booth aspect, put two of them in the room. Okay, I take Terrence. Yeah, Terrence is that kind of dog. Man.
Okay, this is my second mega fight before we go. Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson in Vegas. highest pay-per-view numbers ever, all that stuff.
Right.
Biggest fight with biggest herds, Leonard all over again. What do you
Right.
think is happening?
Yeah.
How could that happen?
You know, I'm always biased. You know who I believe the last man standing. See, there's one thing that I've seen about Shakur. I think Shakur as a 13, 14-year-old going Ukraine. Okay, going Ukraine. Beat Ukraine, the best fighter they had in the first world championship, right? Okay. This is when Lomachenko was there and the Klitschko was there watching Shakur. Okay. I seen Shakur, his next world championship, be the world champion from Kazakhstan, Pakistan, and what's the other? Azerbaijan. Okay. So Shakur had beaten world champions, right, before he even got to the Olympics. Okay. I mean, he won the gold medal in the youth men's world Olympics. So he had already beat future Olympians already. So those fights, you know, all those kids had the opportunity to win. Like, say, each one of those world championships, Devin was there with me. Okay, and Shakur. Did Devin win? No, he didn't. So it's not like Devin haven't had the opportunity to fight those high-profile fights or anything like that. I'm not taking.
But what about if Shakur did move up to fight Tank with his power and your skill? That would be the biggest, probably the highest gross
It could be, but let me tell you this.
pay-per-view.
Tank was 15, Shakur was 13.
Oh.
I couldn't stop Shakur from wanting to spar Tank. Every time he said, I want to spar Tank, they would spar. I want to spar Tank, they would spar.
Wow.
That's how I was with them. I didn't have to ask him. Shakur wanted to spar Tank.
What happened?
Every time he said, same thing happened now. You know what I'm saying? But the only aspect, Shakur is bigger, older, and even better now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And still, you know, like I tell a lot of the world, we haven't seen the best of Shakur yet, you know, because he keeps getting better, you know, like I said, a lot of the things that we go through now, he's getting better at a lot of all that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And he's learning that shit more and more, and it's sinking in, and, you know, I'm really fascinated with the things that I teach him and the things that he teaches himself of what I do. He takes everything to a whole nother level. You know, I teach him this here, how to do this here, you know, how to do the umpteen things off of that one thing. So that's what's so fascinating about him. You know what I mean?
Well, before we go, what's his next fight?
We can find somebody, you know, the next fight, certain day, they said that there were 3 options, okay? One, if Devin moves up, Devin would fight the winner of Josh Taylor, right?
And Teofimo.
Okay. The next one would be Lomachenko and us, right?
I would leave that alone for Lomachenko.
Well, you know, Shakur touched him up. I said,
No, he did. That's not a good matchup for Lomachenko.
I don't think he would take it anyway.
He wouldn't take it.
Yeah, and other than that, is a mandatory bout with whoever. Those are the only options. And right now, from what Bob Aaron is saying, he's gonna put the purse up for big. So you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Thanks a lot. You did a terrific job.